Season 4 full detail patch notes have arrived, and I'm here to break it all down for you on the Necromancer department. We got new uniques, abilities, and everything. Let's begin with the Eben Piercer Amulet. Blight also shoots 4 smaller projectiles that pierce enemies and deal shadow damage over 3 seconds. The ability is interesting, but before we know if this is good, we have to see the actual stats on the amulet. If it gives like Blight X ranks or more ranks to core skills, shadow damage over time, and things like that. But if these 4 smaller projectiles can also lucky hit, it could be quite interesting together with Ixfeld's Corroded Signet. Next up is Kruor's Embrace, unique gloves. Blood Surge consumes corpses to cause mini novas, dealing damage. Damage is increased by 10% per target drain by the initial cast up to 50%. Damage is also increased by 20% for each corpse consumed. Oh boy. Oh boy. So a Black River in glove form. Only downside here is losing 12% critical strike chance, but there's a solution to that in the skill department with new skills. And a new legendary aspect, Aphotic. Skeletal Priests empower your Skeletal Warriors attacks to deal shadow damage and have a 5 to 15% chance to stun enemies for 1.5 seconds. That would turn your Skeletal Warriors into shadow damage, and that shadow damage would hire with all your shadow damage things. I can't see this still being super useful, but we'll certainly try. The most important change though, Necromancer, Barbarian, Druid, and Sorcerer companions now receive 100% of the player's attributes. Not 30, not 10, not 50, 100% of my attributes are going over to the minions, allowing them to be even more deadly. Ring of Mendeln might be the absolute choice this season. Now to the actual skill changes. Enhanced Blight, they updated the tooltip. Blood Mist removed the movement speed reduction. Usually for Blood Mist, to make you faster, you had to take the blood-soaked aspect to then get that super zoomy. Now with Blood Mist not making you slower anymore, that's quite nice. You become unstoppable. T-Balls will, anyways useful. Together with the evade dodging, yes, they do nerf T-Balls will, but it's still worth it. And now with the movement speed being as top-notch as it is, a must-have for the Gauntlet. The Golem ability can now be activated while crowd controlled, because the Golem ability makes you unstoppable. Now the Golem is still maybe useless, but with 100% stats and all the Golem damage buffing, maybe we can finally go for multi-million damage. I mean, so far the Golem got 30% of our stats. Now he gets 100%. Golemancer might be slamming hard this season. Decompose is getting wholesale buffed. It produces more essence. It makes the corpses faster. Also, Decompose now causes an explosion, 40% weapon damage when creating a corpse or when the target dies, and generates another 10 essence when creating a corpse. Decompose is going to be an absolute essence factory. Still not going to make me use it. Acolyte's Decompose was previously every 1.5 seconds, makes enemies vulnerable, and now it's Decompose explosions make enemies vulnerable. So we're essentially having Decompose make corpses, kill targets, explosion vulnerable, or initiates Decompose. Movement speed bonus is now on Decompose explosion instead of channeling. That means that when Decompose explodes, then we get movement speed bonus and you can zoom faster. Potentially a Decompose build. That then goes on critical strike damage somehow? Because Decompose itself is channel, but these are explosions that should be able to crit high. Army of the Dead was already very good for the Gauntlet, but now increased spawn rate of volatile skeletons by 50%. That is even more damage now. And then Supreme Army of the Dead spawn rate adjusted to match volatile skeletons, and it is now categorized as a summoning skill, which means that every summoning skill bonus damage ability boosts Army of the Dead, and we might be finally able to get it to absolute incredible values. Inspiring Leader is getting wholesale changed, and that's huge. It used to give us attack speed. That's gone is a bit sad, but while you're healthy, you gain 4, 8, 12% increased critical strike chance, and your minions gain 6, 12, 18% increased critical strike chance. Another 12% crit for free while we're healthy. Just like that. That's crazy. And finally, Callan's Addict is getting changed. After you've not taken damage in the last 2 seconds, your minions gain 15% attack speed. This bonus is doubled while you have at least 7 minions, or your minions gain 3% attack speed for each active minion. We can have 5 mages, 6 warriors, 1 golem, 12 minions times 3% attack speed. Seems good, but again, usually the Shadow Blight just works so much better than Callan's Addict. That being said, with the bonus of all stats now, and Callan's Addict happening, we might get to very crazy attack speed values. Book of the Dead changes. Skeletal warriors now run ahead of the Necromancer more often and can initiate combat. The thing we have been asking for since season 1. They removed the 3-second limit from the second upgrade, which means that they can now crit and crit and crit and crit, which is very important. Then Reapers used to do a super wind-up attack, but now wind-up attacks reduce one of your active cooldowns by 3 seconds. Interesting if Reapers are able to reduce our cooldowns, but usually we still use them for corpses if we use them. Defenders now taunt in an area around them. So finally pulling aggro instead of negating damage every 6 seconds from the first upgrade. That's huge. Second upgrade changed from increasing thorns inherited from the player to defenders reduce damage taken by 99%. Wow. Defenders are actual defenders. Shadow Mage attacks now pierce. That means they travel through opponents. That's interesting for area damage. Then Shadow Mages used to have a chance to stun. Now you deal 3% increased damage for each active Shadow Mage. Wow. That's a multiplier. And that's all damage, not specific damage. Damn. It's a 15% damage increase. Additional Shadow Bolts now occur every second attack after the second upgrade, not every fourth attack. That's huge. Cult Mages attacks now gain 3 essence from the first upgrade, and attacks now apply vulnerable without condition. That's pretty strong. Bone Mages, they used to take their own life to do more damage. Bone Mages have a 25% chance to cast Bone Splinters or Bone Spear if it is... Oh, what? So we can have Bone Mages, and Bone Mages can just cause Bone Spears to happen, especially now if you increase the attack speed of them with Callan's Addict even further, having them shoot out like bonus Bone Spears. But the thing is, it can cast Bone Spear or Splinters if it is on one of your equipped skills. So if I only have Bone Spear equipped, then it can only cast Bone Spear. 25%. That's a huge chance. That's not lucky hit and then 25%. That's just a 25%. So every fourth attack they could do this, and you have 5 Jesus. Then the second upgrade is now Bone Mages drop a corpse when they die. Bone Mage attacks will grant 3% of maximum life fortify. That's not useful. Blood Golem now absorbs 30% instead of 15% damage, or the second upgrade active ability from Golem also heals the player for 5% of the maximum life for each enemy drained. Oh, interesting. So the Blood Golem now could heal you if you want to. Bone Golem. First upgrade, the Bone Golem used to drop corpses on life loss, and now spawn 5 corpses around the Golem where it's... Oh no, what? That's huge. So the Bone Golem, when he goes into taunt, now spawns 5 corpses. Damn. That's super good. Because then we have him like go taunt and then corpse explode. Oi. So a Black River minion build could work, or a Black River Golem build, where you just make corpses and then, cooldown reduction and make more corpses. Second upgrade, your Bone Golem gains 10% maximum life in the amount of thorns. That was it. And now it's your Bone Golem unleashes bone spikes when taking damage. Could be interesting if we make the Golem the main culprit and then buff his thorns incredibly and his damage. Iron Golem first upgrade now casts a shockwave every 2 attacks instead of every 4, and shockwave damage is increased from 40 to 154%. I mean, like, Golemancer is becoming an actual thought in my mind. Interesting. Then second upgrade now also pulls enemies instead of applying vulnerable. When the first upgrade is so good, the second upgrade seems a bit silly. They changed the Blood Soaked aspect because it used to make Blood Mist to not have a movement speed minus anymore. But now on top of the Shadow Trail it does, it gives another 20% movement speed bonus. Cool. And Unyielding Commander aspect, which used to make your minions attack super fast and take less damage, is now doing even more attack speed. Yeah, that seems good. Occult Dominion also increases the maximum of Skeletal Warriors by 2. That means Skeletal Warriors and Mages is now 1 aspect. That means 1 bonus aspect slot is free. Blood Getters, which used to be Warriors, says your Skeletal Priest also empowers you at 50... What? So we can have the Skeletal Priest, who buffs our minions to do more damage and heals our minions, to have us be buffed by it. Interesting. And then Flesh Rendering is changed when Decompose explodes, gain 25 to 40 essence. They really want to make Decompose viable, it seems, this season. So Minion Mancer with Golem, with minions. is becoming more and more intriguing, especially as we're opening up aspect slots. If Blood Getters or Occult Dominion is now for both, we could have the fixed damage reduction aspect that was giving me and the minions 20% damage reduction. Things are looking good. Which has changed to the rotting aspect that used to be able to chain to 2 additional targets. Now, Decompose can chain and burst up to 2 additional targets. And explosions from Decompose deal 30% increased damage. So they do 40% weapon damage, and now they do 30% bonus on top of that. Could be interesting. And they changed aspect of the Damned, where you had to both cast Decrepify and Iron Maiden. Now aspect of the Damned is just 50% increased shadow damage to enemies afflicted by any curse. What? What? So, okay. And Untimely Death, which used to be for Overpower Overheal. That one got changed to each percent of your maximum life you heal beyond 100%. Grants you a 0.5% X bonus critical strike damage on your next critical strike up to 60% bonus. That would still be good for a Blood Surge build to make your Blood Surge overpower crits be even more deadly, but it's not only relying on overpower anymore. If you would play something with Temerity, for example, we just have to find continuous way to overheal ourselves. I mean, Andariel's Visage comes in my mind with continuous healing. But if I could get Andariel's Visage on my head, and then I get a continuous lifesteal, and then a continuous lifesteal, and I would do continuously overcrit, interesting. Aspect of Potent Blood used to give only essence when healthy. Now it gives always essence. That's very good. The Ring of Mendeln got changed, and this one is huge. This is crazy. Every 6th attack from each minion is empowered, exploding for X physical damage. Now, this used to be a lucky hit, and then it could work. Now it says every 6th attack. That means more attack speeds, more attacks, more Mendeln. But it's a fixed Mendeln that's happening. So if we're now playing Unyielding Commander for the super attack speed boost, then it will always work with Mendeln. Yes, I still have to boost my damage to increase the Mendeln damage. But the fact that it is now a fixed, this will happen. That's crazy. That lucky hit is out. I suddenly don't have to do lucky hit anymore. And we were so constrained with the Ring of Mendeln. The control glyph is changed that it now deals me and my minion damage to crowd controlled targets. That's great. The Debt Razor glyph does even more bonus now. And the Cult Leader Paragon nodes, your minions deal 15% increased damage for each 20% attack speed, is now 30% increased damage for each 20% of attack speed bonus, and then maximum of 100% attack speed bonus. Oh boy. So they used to get 15, now it's double, and with Unyielding Commander and getting 100% attack speed bonus, damn, minions are going to go crazy. I don't know what you're thinking, chat, but minions will be an absolute must-have to level for Season 4. They'll be dominating the end game for sure. That being said, Bone Spear will be good. Shadow minions will be good. There'll be many ways to actually make minions work, especially now with the Bone minions. And that's cool. We'll have finally multiple choices to actually play minions in multiple different ways that could be efficient working for the end game. It's still going to be centering around the Ring of Mendeln. That's what we saw down there. But a Golem Monster might as well be an option. A Golem Shadow Monster, something, a Golem Bone Monster. Multiple things possible. Even now, after they're nerfed the Banished Lord's Talisman, we might go back to play Blood Minions. Yes, to then have a Blood Surge, Blood Minion maximum crit. And here it comes. Blood Surge used to be shit at lucky hit. And Ring of Mendeln now works with every 6th attack on bonus attack speed. That means that suddenly Blood Surge is an option as well. Can't wait to try this all live on the PDR. Hope you're as excited as I am. If you still don't know what Season 4 has to offer, here's 2 videos that have everything perfectly broken down for you.